Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5:30.
This just into our newsroom. One person is behind bars after a traffic stop turned up 17 pounds of methamphetamine. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says a trooper stopped a vehicle being driven by 34-year-old Francisco Torres. He was heading east on Interstate 94 near Mapleton, North Dakota, when he was caught with the meth, which has a street value of $340,000. More than $26,000 in cash was also seized. Torres is from Palmdale, California. He was arrested for several drug-related charges.
It's ineffective to remove children from school because they have head lice.
Many parents remember the days when children were sent home with lice and teachers conducted head checks on the entire classroom, but not anymore. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Multiple organizations, along with some schools, have policies that keep children with lice in school while treatment is ongoing. Head lice is considered a health nuisance and not a disease. Now, with Minnesota testing positive with super lice, some are concerned. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop spoke with health officials about why it's ineffective to send students home with lice and why sometimes it reoccurs again and again.
Lice, the tiny insect that lives in human hair and feeds on blood.
It's not dangerous. It's just something that we all don't like, and we all start to squirm when we hear about it, right?
They can be passed when sharing brushes and hats.
Research has shown that most of the transmissions are from close quarters, so we're talking things like sleepovers or even movie theaters, where there's cloth seats in there rather than at school.
Several health organizations like the CDC, Association of School Nurses, and American Academy of Pediatrics all suggest no knit policies be discontinued, something Minnesota and North Dakota Department of Health recommend to school districts. The no-knit policies require children to be free of nits, also known as lice eggs, before returning to school.
So truly they aren't going back with active head lice. There might still be some leftover nits in there, which are the eggs, but most of the treatments kill the eggs too.
The organizations give 4 reasons why students should go to school while receiving treatment for lice.
Nits are submitted to the hair shaft and are very unlikely to be transferred successfully to other people. The burden of unnecessary absenteeism to students, families, and communities far outweighs the risk associated with head lice.
Sometimes people complain that their child gets lice multiple times, and Anderson says that often the treatment isn't completely finished.
I suspect, I don't know this, that they're not being diligent about following up and checking that head on a regular basis.
Another tip, Christine, is that the Department of Health suggests that you make sure you clean on the day that you start that lice treatment. It's important to wash bedding in hot water and not automatically treat others if they don't have lice. Anderson says the chemicals you use on there can be really harsh. For both North Dakota and Minnesota fact sheets and information on lice, click on this story on valleynewslive.com.
All great advice. Ashley, thanks for investigating. Okay. Anyways, Moorhead Public Schools follow the Department of Health recommendations to keep kids in school, whereas Fargo Public Schools has a no-knit policy, and that differs from Cass County Public Health and the North Dakota Department of Health. A Felton, Minnesota man accused of shooting a toddler last summer has one more chance to settle. Otherwise, he'll go to trial. 24-year-old Fernando Rocha is charged with child endangerment after he admitted to accidentally shooting his 22-month-old daughter. Rocha is scheduled to be in court March 17th. If he chooses not to settle his case, his jury trial is set for March 22nd. Back in June, police say Rocha told him he had about a dozen beers and was handling his gun when it went off and shot his daughter. The child who was shot was treated for a gunshot wound to her leg. If convicted, Rocha could serve a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. A former Grand Forks Central teacher accused of having a sexual relationship with a student turned himself in. James Whalen was booked into the Grand Forks County Jail this morning. Bond was set at $5,000. He posted $1,000 and was released from jail earlier today. Whalen's initial court appearance this morning was for the 2 charges of corruption or solicitation of minors. He also has been ordered not to have contact with the female victim. Whalen's next court appearance is set for April. More clouds and gray skies for us today, but look at that gorgeous sunset. It sounds like snow is on the horizon for some of us. Let's check in with meteorologist Robert Hahn. Robert?
Yeah, we've got some variable cloudiness across the area, but more snow will be on its way as we head through the overnight hours tonight and through the early morning hours tomorrow as we wrap up this week. Temperatures not too bad out there for the most part in the 20s. However, still 19 up in Roseville, 23 Thief River Falls and Bemidji, 28 here in Fargo, also 28 in Devils Lake and in Oaks. Winds very light out there and not enough to make much, if any, of a wind chill. Clouds, we've got some clearing skies out there, but more clouds will move on in later on tonight underneath what few clouds we do have. No precipitation out there. None anticipated over the next few hours, but starting in our northwestern and far northern counties later on tonight, that snow will make its return. But here in Fargo, as we head through the rest of the evening, some partly cloudy skies and some light winds, temperatures ever so slowly dropping on off, staying rather steady as we head through the overnight hours tonight. We're only going to bottom out in the low 20s tomorrow, some much warmer weather, but before we get there, we're going to deal with some snowy weather in parts of the area. We'll detail all that coming up in just a little bit.
Thanks, Robert. The harsh weather conditions in the valley have done some damage to our roads, and as the snow starts to melt, you could see more potholes than when the snow first fell. Potholes are created by temperatures going from freezing to above freezing very quickly. Water seeps into the cracks in the pavement and then freezes, which then expands the cracks and causes the pavement to break. The Fargo Public Works Department is monitoring the streets and filling potholes as quickly as possible. They're asking for the public to report any potholes. For that link to report potholes that need to be filled, go to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on our hot button. On Wednesday, some members of the U.S. Senate voted against a bill to add $600 million in emergency funding to a comprehensive drug bill, money that one senator says could have gone to communities in urgent need. Washington correspondent Kelly Meyer finds out why it was blocked and if there is still hope for help.
The Republican lawmaker fought on the Senate floor asking for additional resources over and above what could be spent this year. His bill, called the Comprehensive Addiction and Recovery Act, is designed to ensure that federal resources are given to drug education, treatment, and recovery programs. He believes the extra funding is worth the cost.
Because if we're going to get at this problem, we got to change the way we're doing some things.
Democrats like New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand and Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin supported the passage and increase in aid. Both have their own legislation to battle opioid abuse. But only a few Republicans were on board.
While this is an important authorization bill, I would also note that Congress has already appropriated $400 million to opioid-specific programs already.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who has witnessed the effects of the epidemic in Kentucky, says there's already money available to use. And while Wyoming Senator Michael Enzi agrees that heroin and opioid abuse is a problem in communities in Wyoming and across the country, he sees a possibility of the funds being wasted.
This amendment lacks specificity in how the funds are allocated.
Senator Portman says he understands his Republican colleagues' concerns, but believes these extra funds could be the difference between life or death.
I just think this is so urgent, such an emergency, that it's worth adding additional funds on top of that, specifically, again, for giving people more access to treatment.
In Washington, I'm Kelly Meyer, Valley News Live.
There's also a companion piece of legislation in the House of Representatives that Portman hopes will go through. Former Republican presidential nominee Mitt Romney slammed Donald Trump today, calling the presidential frontrunner a phony and a fraud. At a speech today in Salt Lake City, the former Massachusetts governor gave his insight into the state of the 2016 presidential race, focusing mostly on Trump. Romney labeled Trump as a bully who threatens America's future, stressing that either Senator Ted Cruz, Senator Marco Rubio, or Governor John Kasich should be the Republican presidential nominee.
I'm not here to announce my candidacy for office. And I'm not going to endorse a candidate today. Instead, I'd like to offer my perspective on the nominating process of my party.
Hours after Mitt Romney spoke out against the candidate, Trump had harsh words for him, bringing up her email troubles. Trump claimed Hillary Clinton would destroy Mitt Romney if he attempted to make his way into the race. The city of Moorhead is attempting to cut down on loud train sounds, and today the public is encouraged to attend a meeting to give their input. The city is proposing quiet zones along two major intersections. One on 20th Street South from 20th Avenue to 40th Avenue. That's near the tech school and high school. The other along Southeast Main Avenue from Oakway to 40th Avenue. Project along 20th Street and the Main Avenue project would cost about $2 million. Together, they would impact about 2,000 people, meaning those impacted would be paying around $1,000 in specials. An open house began at 5:30 and goes until 7:30 tonight with a presentation beginning at 6. The event will be held at the HemComp Center. To say there is lots of competition to get that dream job or promotion is likely an understatement. And experts say one of the keys to getting your foot in the door is not only what you know and what you can do, but it's also about how you look. Do you look like the pro you are? Well, at NDSU, would-be graduates and job seekers have an additional weapon in their job search arsenal. Today, they got a look at some of the business attire available for the job hunt. In fact, NDSU's Career Center has a whole closet full of just right clothing that job seekers can use. It's called the Career Closet, and it's a free service. It's all about helping NDSU students and soon-to-be grads get a leg up on the competition as they head into the workforce.
Since it opened in spring semester of 2015, so it's been open for a little over a year now, we've had a lot of success with the closet. We've had roughly 100 students that have come in and used it. We also have some frequent flyers in the closet too, so we've had some students that will come and use it multiple times. Every interview they go to, they come and get the same tie or the same shirt that they know they like.
Nelson says it's important the job seekers have clothing they feel comfortable wearing. She says comfort translates to confidence in the job interview. And by the way, she says they also offer lessons for men who don't know how to tie a tie. Some NDSU students are toughing it out in the cold for a great cause. It's the annual Swing-a-thon. 100 student men from Tau Kappa Epsilon and women from Kappa Delta will be out through Saturday to raise money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
We actually, as a fraternity, have $1 million goal to help fundraise an MRI machine for St. Jude research, and that's kind of the goal that we're shooting for and what this event is helping out for in a whole.
The three-day swinging will end at noon on Saturday. Last year, they raised $4,300. This year, they're hoping to raise $4,500.